before we get into CymaTones, out of curiosity, before I was curious when I was going through the notes, what does that mean? Is that a particular brand? Is that your brand? What is CymaTones?
So CymaTones is a brand I created, which is based off of the frequencies produced by the Cyma 1000 machine.
Okay.
The frequency device was manufactured like over 50 years ago, and then they stopped producing it. So the CymaTones are the sounds of the Cyma 1000 digitized and placed on the internet.
Okay. Now, I like going through people's videos and so forth. And, they often say, people kind of connect with people they know, like, and trust. You were saying at one time that you were, I'm paraphrasing, like in a harsh country, a harsh environment and so forth. And
so I grew up in the Philippines. I was blessed with a business family,
okay.
But I grew up hiring hundreds of people from the streets,
okay.
living in tire houses.
Okay.
Like this, they don't even have the sticks to put them up. They're living in houses made of tires and tin. So I grew up in a rough environment,
okay.
seeing it, but me, myself, I was pretty blessed
okay.
with that.
So you have an entrepreneur background. So you're just, entrepreneurship is just kind of flowing through you, creativity, entrepreneurship, that just flows through you.
I believe so. I was born into a business, and it's a laundry business in the Philippines. And then my parents have been in business, doing all sorts of in-person or online. And I started my first business, I think it was 20 years ago. I had a karate school.
Okay.
I had a karate school for a decade.
Okay.
And I was, a lot of my businesses were actually in person. Okay. So I had a restaurant, I had a pizza place with a bar. I had an arcade, just kind of all random different things. But now my focus is CymaTones, the business of manifesting health.
Okay.
But yes, my background has been in business.
Okay, so now how do we go from now? And it's funny because I also have a martial arts background. I served some time in the Marine Corps, and I had as a kid I always loved martial arts. Loved Bruce Lee. Who didn't love Bruce Lee as a kid? And so when I got to Korea, I started doing Taekwondo, and I was able to achieve a black belt there, and came back to the States and was helping somebody in California in their school and so forth. But then I went religious, and it's funny, I thought because I went religious that I had to let all that go, and nothing could be further from the truth, but that's what you believe. But with that, how did the frequency thing start?
Frequency started because I needed it.
Okay.
I was a software developer for about 10 years, and I also was merging into management. I was being trained into management. And something happened. There was a major outage causing millions of dollars, and I was responsible. I had a panic attack. Wow. My very first panic attack, which was in 2012.
Okay.
And from there, I had a year of panic attacks every single night. I did not know what to do. I didn't take pills because I physically just cannot do it. I drove myself to ER. Basically, after a year of suffering myself, realized this is something else. This is in my head. I started meditating, which got me to guided meditations by someone named Paul Santisi.
Okay.
And it was three-dimensional. It was three-dimensional meditation. I was like, whoa, he's talking here, he's talking here. And that's how I got into frequencies.
Okay.
And when I got into like right frequencies, binaural beats, it worked. And I was like, okay, that worked. So it means it works for other things. Yeah. But I had to use it for myself.
Okay. Okay. So now we start getting into, as we've discovered that, what makes CymaTones unique? Because of course I do frequencies myself, and I don't have that advanced technology. A lot of times I will go online and use different equipment and things like that and download beats and things like that. What makes CymaTones different?
Well, CymaTones is derived from a machine that was specially created to hold it's called a commutation. It's a frequency of 5. Okay. And the 5 frequencies were created by a team. Their names were Sir Peter Manners and Hans Jenny.
Okay.
And they were physicists. They're actually the father of cymatics. All those cymatics videos you see on YouTube, mainly because of Sir Peter Manners. And he created 700 commutations, 5 combination frequencies, put them into 2 machines, and one of them is the Cyma 1000.
Gotcha.
And I don't know how many they made or why they stopped, that whole story, but I was able to get my hands on it, and I was able to acquire a second one. And so it started from there. But I have a Spooky 2 Rife machine, and I've used binaural beats and all those frequencies. They all work. I just use CymaTones because the machine itself, when I used it in person, worked so well. Okay. I was like, there's got to be a way for me to digitize this. And that's how it actually grew from TikTok, because I was sharing my frequency therapy on TikTok, and they were like, wait a minute, what is that? I feel it. And that's when it clicked. It is digital. So that's the birth of CymaTones.
So how did you come across, they stopped making the machine's 50 years old. How did you come across yours, the first one?
The first one was, so I have a wellness center, and I do other therapeutic offerings. I had a flotation tank, for example. I had a sensory deprivation tank. We also had a Himalayan salt cave, Reiki. I taught yoga. It was a wellness center. So I had all these things, and 7 years was, here in the Bay Area. Right around like the 5th year, someone started coming into the store. Actually, she was closing her shop, and she was selling me all her books. Kind of weird, right? She was like, I got to offload these books, and I love books. So no questions asked. I bought them all. I used, not used, whatever. I said, I'll buy them all. I'll take them all. And and then she came back a week later. Turns out she had been following me for 9 months. Wow. And wanted to see what I was like in person, because she wanted me to heal her with her machine. Okay. The Cyma 1000 is a great tool, but it's not really easy to use on yourself. Okay. You need someone to, it's an applicator, and you got to press buttons. So I was able to, in exchange, I was using it for her. We had, she had to drive it an hour away, but I ended up, she gave it to me. She said, this is your machine now. I need you to help me heal myself. So over the 2 years we were using it, and promise me that you're going to share this technology. That's what she said. And that's how it had happened. And I happened to, obviously I was looking for the same machine because it worked so well. I found one on eBay a couple of years later. And, I'm always looking. I'm always on the lookout for new technologies and old technologies. Ancient technologies are actually what works the best. Yeah. So that's how I was able to get it. And now it's available for, anyone really.
When you say the ancient technologies, what have you found that have been beneficial for yourself and your clients? Any in particular?
Well, the technology of using light combined with sound. So applying that combination and just explaining it. It's not fancy. It's light that's colored, or it's a piece of metal, silver, copper, a spiral, a crystal. It's really about learning how to use, I call them ancient technology. It's really nature. Yeah. How do we use the ground and the sun and the water to make ourselves feel better and acquire the things we want? So, it's really about knowledge.
I've watched a couple of your lives before leading up to this, even before I reached out to you. And one of the things that you do with this whole thing is you make it fun. You don't have a boring life. You got lights going on, you got blinking, you got crystals, you got flashing, you got halos, circles, encompassing.
My hats.
Your hats, your glasses, the toothbrushes. So let's speak on the toothbrushes briefly. Now, these toothbrushes that you have, what do you call them? Besides
frequency toothbrush.
Okay, yeah. Frequency toothbrushes. Now, are there levels of these, or are there just one basic toothbrush that has these different frequencies? How does that work?
I reached out to a sonic frequency manufacturer, sonic frequency toothbrushes. They exist. there's sonic toothbrushes. And I haven't actually tested one to see what the sonic sounds are from those. Yeah. But I said, I need bone conduction bristles. And I sent them a video of Tooth-Tunes, which was produced by Arm & Hammer many years ago. Okay. Arm & Hammer and Hasbro, and they came out and then it disappeared. So I found one on eBay and sent them a video, and I said, this is what I need. We were able to put one, a chip that could play one sound for 10 minutes. Okay. And that's really how it happened. When I got my my prototype, mm-hmm. They put a different sound because, they didn't, just as testing, and it worked fabulous. It worked so well that, that was, I knew it was going to. Yeah. Because I already know how well the sounds work, the teeth and gum tones, on a regular speaker. You can just get a regular speaker, put it up to your face and feel it. Mm-hmm. And imagine that inside your mouth, directly into your tissue. It's a massage, really. Like, I don't think I've ever brushed my teeth for so long. And it's not even about brushing my teeth. It's like I'm just sitting there with the bristle up to my face, listening to teeth sounds.
So as the teeth sounds are being vibrated, are they doing the same thing that we would get from a CymaTones? Or if I'm listening to binaural beats in my ears, is it something similar to that, or is it different? What's the benefits?
The benefit with using the bone conduction is that it reaches your tissue directly without any distortion. Okay. So, for example, if you get like an ultrasound, they put that ultrasound gel. Mm-hmm. So it eliminates the distortion, the air, and like water. It's actually better to have sound waves go through water. It's about 4 times more efficient. Now through gel, it's even better. But through your bone, when I put it up to my tissue, I don't hear it. And it's interesting. I took my finger and I put it in my ear. It made it louder. Wow. I think these are antennas. It made it so loud. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm learning. I'm taking what I've learned, applying it, making it easy mm-hmm. to use, because nobody can get these big speakers, mm-hmm. right? And it just made sense. And metals mm-hmm. for their healing practices, hundreds of years ago. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of lost touch with that.
So we're kind of catching up of sort. And with the toothbrush on the gum with the vibration, so the bone becomes the direct conductor of the vibration, as opposed, it used to be the gel, or you had something that was a medium between it, but now it's going directly to bone, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What I like about listening to you and talking about this technology is, what I like is, even if we had a person, because a lot of times when we think about frequencies, we think that the person has to be hearing, you know what I'm saying? But that's not the case. So mm-hmm. even a person that may be without hearing, they can use that and get the vibrations on the bone and get the benefit of it. Like I said, everybody's included is my point.
Correct. And one of the things I hope to come up with soon after is the ability to do this for all the other frequencies. Okay. Like cell regeneration, when they created the Cyma, mm-hmm. the cell regeneration frequency set was shown to increase by 90% of cell division. I mean, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. That speeds up your healing. That you're going from like a cut to a scab, mm-hmm. 5 times faster. So being able to imagine that in a toothbrush. It's not even a toothbrush, it's a speaker. Yeah. It's a vibrating speaker. And they do have speakers. I've tried some other bone conduction speakers, mm-hmm. And they do work. Mm-hmm. This happens to be one that you can, I don't want you putting a speaker inside your mouth or your phone. So, imagine all the things we can apply this to. The hairbrush, mm-hmm. for example. Yeah. There's so many different applications to make it easier to use frequencies instead of like someone going out and I have to do this. Mm-hmm. It's just part of their life.
And I even see for you getting to the place where you could have a conductor and exchange different frequencies. Now, and I don't know how that would be done, but just the thought of us being able to think about doing something like that, we know that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? So, just go ahead.
Yeah, no, as soon as you said the thought of, you know what just went in my head was imagine being able to switch the channels with your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
We can do
Yeah.
it. We just have to practice. We got to learn.
Yeah. Over a course of time, if we started believing, in closing, how can they get a hold of you? Give them the website. And again, I'm going to have that in the comments, but again, I want you to be able to verbalize that and let them know how to get a hold of you.
Yes. So our website is CymaTones.com, and you can access all of our products, our classes, our socials. You know, that's that. And you can find me on live streaming on TikTok, also on
Yes.
Facebook and maybe on Instagram. So yeah, I'm kind of just, I talk about all the stuff I'm excited about. And but yes, thank you so much.
We'll talk soon. Appreciate
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll
I will
talk
see you
soon.
next time.
Take care.